Good morning, my ecom learners. Today's video lesson will focus on further discussing how to construct your SOP or statement of the problem. So, what are we waiting for? Let's get the ball rolling. It is important that we construct research questions effectively. Now, let's talk about five strong steps in writing an effective question for your SOP or statement of the problem. But before that, ano nga ba ang SOP or statement of the problem? Ano ang role na meron ito sa research study mo? SOP contains statements explaining your identified problem, which shows the research gap, why it is relevant, why there is a need to study about it, what is your aim, how you will address the problem, and how you will attain your aim of solving it. Consequently, the highlight of your SOP is the research gap. Research gap refers to the gap in existing knowledge you want to address, an issue or concern that has not yet been given a specific solution or an effective solution by any of the previous studies or research conducted before. The next step you need to do is putting your research problem or the gap in context, meaning providing the reader with the background information they need to understand why you want to study or solve this particular problem and why it is relevant. The relevance of the study also appears, of course, in your SOP. You need to clearly state why the research is needed. Bakit ito dapat pag-aralan? Ano ang maitutulong nito? Afterwards, when the reader knows what the context of your research is and why it matters or why it is relevant, you need to briefly introduce the design and the methods you will use. While describing this, you should also formulate your precise aims more clearly. These are just the preliminary steps on how you are going to construct the first part of your SOP. Now let's discuss the five strong steps that you need to consider in writing an effective question for your SOP. The first one is, of course, you have to choose a topic. Ensure that you choose a topic that really sparks not only your interest, but also other people's interest. That's a test that the topic will be of great value. I'm thinking of social media, Messenger in particular, since students and teachers nowadays are both excessively using it every day due to the new normal in the field of education. The next step is do a preliminary reading about the topic. I have read some articles about how social media negatively affect both the teachers and students' work, academic performances, physical, mental, and emotional circumstances. I then believe I could have data to use if I would have this kind of research. The next thing to consider is to narrow down to a specific area. Be sure that you target a specific area of the topic you are choosing. A moment ago, I said I would deal with Messenger from among the social media platforms. The next thing is, what about it? Would it be Messenger on the end of the students or the teachers? If it's to deal with students, would it be academic performance, mental or emotional effect? If it's academic performance, it is still broad, so you still have to narrow it down. I may say I would choose attention span of the students in messenger classes to make it specific. Since I am a teacher, I would choose the use of messenger in the field of our work. I will have it specific by focusing on, let's say, the impact of messenger group chat in the work setting. I am referring to the group chat schools are using for announcements and information disseminations managed by the administrations. Somewhat like the use of virtual bulletin of announcements. Are they effective or not? The fourth we have is to identify a research problem. I have already set a specific path to tread on considering the topic I chose, which is Messenger as virtual bulletin. Teachers are actively using it nowadays due to pandemic. However, there were really no specific studies yet to prove or refute the effectiveness of this virtual announcement and work concerns bulletin in the school level. So that will be my research problem. The last is to write your research question. All you have to do is to turn your research problem into a research question. It would look like this, for example. My research problem is the utilization of Messenger group chat as virtual bulletin. And here is my research question. How effective is virtual bulletin in guiding the teaching staff to perform best in the new normal? And that is just one example of a research question. Watch the next video lesson to have clearer understanding of the contents of your SOP.